An evil Democratic scheme to steal elections, until suddenly it's not. All that and more now on Graff's Grievances. The Republican National Committee announcing a new initiative to increase early voting in the 2024 presidential election. This after former President Donald Trump repeatedly attacked early voting as fraudulent during the 2020 presidential campaign. As usual, Trump providing no evidence that pre-election day voting, including vote by mail and early in-person voting, is significantly more fraudulent than voting on election day. And in fact, research has shown that voting by mail is extremely safe and secure. An analysis from News 21 found that between 2000 and 2012, there were just 491 cases of early voter fraud in America, out of literally billions of votes cast. Yet despite this reality, Trump repeatedly promulgated the false narrative that voting by mail was an evil invention of Democrats to steal the 2020 election from him. Trump saying, quote, "You can never have free and fair elections with mail-in ballots. Never, never, never." End quote. Mail-in voting is a terrible thing. I think if you vote, you should go to the polls. Of course, with Trump living by the mantra, rules for thee and not for me, he requested a vote by mail ballot for the 2020 Republican presidential primary and voted early in person in the general election. So clearly Trump thinks early voting is fraudulent. Otherwise, why would he do it? But Trump wasn't alone in pushing false narratives about early voting. He was assisted in his effort by Republican National Committee Chair Ronna, formerly Romney, McDaniel. McDaniel publishing an op-ed on FoxNews.com months before the 2020 general election, falsely claiming that vote by mail is a Democratic plot to, quote, undermine democracy, and promising to do whatever possible to stop it. The incessant attacks on mail-in voting by Trump and the Republican Party leading up to the 2020 election greatly impacting Republican voters. According to an analysis by MIT, while 59% of Democrats voted by mail in 2020, just 30% of Republicans did. This compares to the 2016 presidential election, where both Democrats and Republicans voted by mail at around 23%. Of course, the outcome of those two different elections could not have been any more different. In 2016, where Democrats and Republicans voted by mail at about the same rate, Trump narrowly defeated Democrat Hillary Clinton in what was widely considered a dramatic upset. However, in 2020, Trump became the first incumbent president in nearly 3 decades to lose re-election when he was defeated by Democrat Joe Biden, as the percentage of Democrats voting by mail far exceeded Republicans doing the same. These election results, combined with Republicans' extremely lackluster performance in the 2022 midterms, has resulted in Republicans, including Trump, reversing their position on mail-in voting. Trump, seeking the Oval Office for a third time, now telling potential voters it's time to, quote, change our thinking on early and mail-in voting. And RNC Chair McDaniel also doing a 180 on mail-in voting and urging Republicans to vote as soon as possible, saying, quote, to win elections, we need to close the gap on pre-election day voting. And while it is great that Republicans are now embracing early voting, and in this one respect making it easier for Americans to exercise their constitutional right, attacking early voting is not why the GOP keeps losing elections. The problem the party has is that its policies do not appeal to the American people. Their at times scary, anachronistic, and hate-filled agenda is only made worse by their repeated lies to the American people about everything from mail-in voting to the outcome of the 2020 election. The sooner Republicans figure this out, the closer they will be to winning elections again. Thanks for watching Graff's Grievances. Let me know what you think, and please subscribe.